guys, and welcome back to News Coasters. My name is Anderson. Today, we'll be looking at how to fix the Fast Pass. I know that's a large question. We're going to try to answer it in today's video with looking at the problems, how to fix it, and creating the ultimate Fast Pass system that would appear to work the best. Now, I'm no means saying that any of the Fast Pass systems are bad, and I'm not saying they're not doing the best they can, although I will review that in today's video. Also, I know it says mini documentary. That's just because my videos are usually like less than 5 minutes, so these videos are a bit longer. This one's hopefully going to be around 15 minutes. Anyway, let's get straight into today's video. So we're going to head off and start off with the problems. What are the problems of the current Fast Pass systems? I'll be looking at mainly Cedar Point's, Six Flags, and talking a bit about Disney's. But let's start off with the one I'm mainly be talking about, Cedar Point. So the main problem with Cedar Points is it's a bit too expensive for what I view as what you're getting. I think it's a little too expensive for that, and I think that, you know, when you look at Cedar Point, I watched a video earlier about this topic, and Cedar Point, there was a wait time where someone waited 90 minutes in the Fast Pass lane. That is absurd. And so I can realize that is definitely too long and should not happen. But what else? What are some other problems? So I said too expensive. Wait times are insane at Cedar Point in any line, even with the Fast Pass system. So what other problems are there? And how are these problems? So first off, too expensive. When you are paying $140 for a Fast Pass, that is the top tier at Six Flags, that is also around the cost at Cedar Point. That's absurd. $140 for anything. That is far more than a ticket. I know for a fact you can buy a Six Flags Great America ticket for $30 at this current time. I know that is incredibly low. But let's say the regular price, which is $40, that is more than triple that price, or more than 4 times the price of the current ticket price, which is $30. So either way, it's 3 times or more the current price. Is more than 3 times, and that is absurd to be paying $140 for a Fast Pass system on top of food, which most people are going to be paying for in the park, parking, which costs like $20, which is also absurd, and so to buy a Fast Pass on top of that, well, that's, you add it up, that's absurd. So that's why I do like Six Flags having a cheaper option. As for Cedar Point wait times, when you're waiting 90 minutes for a Fast Pass line, when you're paying $140 for a Fast Pass, and you're still waiting over 90 minutes, that is absurd. That should never happen. It should never happen when you're waiting more than even 30 minutes. I would say, personally, the best Fast Pass line is a Fast Pass line that is around 15 minutes. That seems to be the right amount of time, given what the system is. You're paying extra money. It should not be more than 15 minutes, and that is just a fact. I'm sorry. So I think that if that is true, I think, there's not much else people can do. Other than just try to speak out against this, and I'm going to tell you what I think the best Fast Pass system really would be. So first off, let's talk about some fixes. So I talk about Disney's. Their system is amazing. I hate to be like with corporate Disney on this, but if you're getting a free Fast Pass every so often, that is just amazing. At a park like Disney, where it's so crowded, that only seems fair, especially because Disney tickets are already like $100. I feel like they figured in that Fast Pass ticket in there, and I think that's what more parks should do. I hate to have a really expensive ticket for a park like Disney where it's $100, but parks like Holiday World already, they're putting in the ticket price, the parking price, they're putting the ticket price, the parking price, they're adding free food onto it, they're adding on free sunscreen and things, and just little things that people don't necessarily use, but it's just nice to have, to know that you have it. And even if it's being added on kind of privately without you knowing, I almost like it that way. I almost like knowing I'm getting this extra thing. I know it's going to cost me extra on my ticket, but I'm getting this, and that allows you to use it. Allows you to drink beverages without feeling like you're gonna have to pay for it, because you already have paid for it. You've already paid for it in your ticket price, so there's no extra like little fee that you're gonna have to give. So Six Flags, the other thing, so free. There's the Six Flags bronze tier. So one thing I did not talk about when I talked about Six Flags earlier was its bronze tier. Six Flags bronze tier. You pay for it and you wait to essentially have. It's like one of those lines at a deli where you take a ticket and then you get to the front of the line, but you're allowed to go buy food and whatnot. I don't know if that's a great analogy because I haven't really been to a deli since before the pandemic. But I think that if you can understand me, you take it. You're just with this fast pass, save a reservation, go ride some other rides, then get in line for that reservation. Then you can make a reservation in the line of that ride, and I think it just, from what I remember, it makes a really because I have used that at least. I don't know about the other ones. I might have used the top pass before too, but from what I remember, that one was just ideal. You can go ride some rides while you're waiting in a virtual queue for different rides. That's the word I was looking for, virtual queue. So that's the bronze tier. So if Cedar Point did something like that, and honestly, a park that did something like that, if you just make the fast pass system more of a you're virtually waiting, and that's the thing that I think that's what happened with COVID, where you had to grab a ticket to get in line and virtually wait, and that was the regular line. So if you just kept the regular line, that's the longer wait, or you grab the virtual ticket, and that either be free or just be an add-on to your regular ticket. I think that would be really good, and I think that would really make the guest experience just top tier. I think if you can just grab a ticket, go ride some other rides, you're non-stop gonna be riding, and that's just like the bottom tier of Six Flags. And I think going to Six Flags actually with that system is really nice, especially because that cost is only I believe it's only $60. I mean that's still a lot of money, but $60 compared to what was the price of the other one? $60 compared to $140 for Six Flags top tier and Cedar Fair top tier. For Cedar Point, they could also further limit the number of fast passes they're selling. I know they say they're limiting it, but let's be honest, they're trying to make the most money as possible. And I know it's a business. People are going to bring up its shareholders. I just don't want to hear it in the comments. You can have a differing opinion. Click off this video, dislike it, but just don't put it in the comments. YouTube is a harsh place enough. I'm just trying to give my fixes for it. And actually, that's my point of this video. I'm trying to give my fixes. I'm not saying that they are doing anything wrong. I'm not saying that their system isn't working fine already. I'm just saying that they could work a little better. And I'm not trying to say that if I own this theme park chain, I could do better. I'm not trying to say anything like that. So if you're writing a comment right now that is like, what do you know about it? You're not an analyst. You don't work for Cedar Fair. Stop talking, you loser. Stop typing. And it does not help you. I guess if it helps you to really relieve that pain by typing in the comments that you waited 90 minutes in a fast pass at Cedar Point, do it. But just know that this might not even affect the system. The final thing is to reduce the price. If you reduce the price, I feel like most people will be fine with it. If you just didn't make it so it's $140 or $120 or $100, I think people will be more open to being like, okay, yeah, I'm still waiting a decently long time for fast pass. So if Cedar Point just combined further limiting the passes and reducing the price, I feel like people would be more accepting of the system. But let's look at what the ultimate fast pass could look like. So the ultimate pass, as I see it, there's a few options that you could go with. If you're Cedar Point and you want it to be paid, you want to get some money, I would go with option A, which is to limit the rides. One option that I would look at is to limit the rides per hour. And actually, I'll use this example. So a fast pass system, as is currently in place, you're going to let's give a hypothetical example here. Every person at this park, there are 5 people currently at this park, and they're getting 5 rides in per day at this park. So they're getting 5 rides in at this park, and there's 5 people. Let's say one person, let's name him Billy. Billy decides to buy a fast pass. That will mean that because he is jumping the line, every other person will be reduced by 2 rides from this system. So every other person who had 5 rides originally will be reduced to 3 rides, and Johnny will get all extra 8 of those rides because there's 2 for 4 people, and that'll be added on to his rides, which means he's getting 13 rides and everybody else gets 3. Now, while that may seem a little unfair to the rest of everybody is still getting 3 rides. So yeah, I think that there's definitely a space for it if somebody can only come to the park for a few hours. There's a space for a fast pass. I get it. I am simply stating that I think there could be some changes made. Now, let's say instead of this system here where every other person is getting, every other rider is losing 1 ride, you reduce the number of rides that that the fast pass user can use. So it means that instead of everybody reducing their ride total by 2, they're reducing it by 1. What happens now? Every other person gets 4, and Johnny over here only gets 9. And that seems a lot more fair. And I think that if we just took that system from this small scale, if you just limited the rides a little bit, one thing I could definitely see is limiting rides per hour. If Cedar Point implemented a system that said you can only ride each ride for 2 rides per hour, and that would mean people are rotating around the park a lot more with their fast passes, so not getting marathons with the fast pass, which I think is kind of the main problem. People are in the area of the park, and a regular visitor to a park might stop at a ride and decide to ride it multiple times because the line's short, and there's a longer line, they're going to ride it, move on, ride it, move on. But the fast pass people over here are just sitting in that line. They're using their fast pass over and over again on the same ride, and they're just, filling that ride with fast pass users instead of people who are fairly waiting their time. So I could see a system of reducing fast passes, reducing the price, and limiting the rides per hour as a possible system. So there's obviously the bronze pass. So the ultimate fast pass I could see is first, that pass I just talked about the Cedar Point can do. They still wanted to make money. The second one I can see is something similar to Six Flags bronze tier, but implemented all the way around the system. So it's not like you're having these other tiers where you can just wait half the time or all of the way and just get right on the ride. If they simply had the whole fast pass system, just you're gonna wait the same amount of time, but in a virtual queue. That system I can definitely see as a fair and equal and just system that could be definitely equal. The third one is, of course, having a free system, which Disney uses, and I think that's definitely the peak of it. I know it's included on the ticket, just somewhere deep. I still like it. I still like that everybody feels treated equal. You see somebody passing the line, you don't think they're a cheater who just used money to get that. You feel like they are somebody who is getting the same equal chance that you are, because later you're going to be jumping them in line. In Haunted Mansion, you're going to be jumping them, and then they'll jump you in Spacebound. It just feels fair. And so, in conclusion, I'll talk about my conclusion. In conclusion, I think the Fast Pass system is definitely not as good as it could be. I think the Fast Pass isn't being improved, and I'm not saying that it is horrible at all. I think many parks do it right. I think Disney does do it right. Hate to use them as an example, but they do. I also think Six Flags and Cedar Fair just, it's obvious. They're a little bit in it for the money. They're finding these ways to add an extra system. There's going to be the Cedar Point Gold Pass, or Fast Pass Gold Pass Premium that's going to get you on the ride, and there's going to be a second Fast Pass lane. So you're going to have three lines, and now this group of people can pay $240 to cut everybody. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying they're always looking for a little bit extra cash. And I think if just Cedar Fair took a step back, focused on guest experience, reduced the passes, reduced the price, and improved the overall park experience, improved things like that, I could definitely see fast passes being it for the long hauls, nobody feeling cheated, nobody really feeling bad, and I think the lines would just be overall shorter. So if you have an idea and you want to discuss it without screaming in the comments, please definitely comment below. And if you happen to want to watch more videos from this channel, subscribe. But thank you guys for following through and watching this whole video. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you guys in a future video. Thank you for watching this video, and